Hey guys, I'm Courtney Ortiz, the host of the My Camp podcast. You guys are joining me live today in the Girls HC, and I'm really excited to introduce my new camp bestie, Dale McLean. He is the Director of Special Events at Camp Kadima at the JCC here in Davie in South Florida. Dale, so great to have you on today. Welcome to the HC. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Courtney. Thank you for having us. Camp is about a month away. I can't believe it's a year's gone by so fast, and here we are planning for another summer.
So everybody who's like an adult who has a history of like a career working at camp has a really good origin story. What's your camp origin story? How did you get into camp?
Well, growing up, I never went to camp.
Right.
So I think I'm reliving my youth by being a camp director and being a part of camp. I'm originally from Jamaica. My parents were very educational people. So instead of going to camp, I went to summer school because my mom was a principal. So she thought you need to get ahead. So go to summer school, so when I came to the United States and I became an adult, I was brought into the camp atmosphere, the camp sphere by being a hip hop director at my previous camp. And this was a whole new world to me. And like you heard the birds chirping and everything moved in slow motion. It was very new to me. I'm like, this existed? This is what kids did? I went to summer school. I never went to camp.
Right.
Yeah, so pretty much. So after a year of being a hip hop instructor and leaving my mark at my former camp, which was Pinehurst Day Camp, they said, hey, we want you here full time as a counselor because you're exactly what we want. Your energy, the kids love you. And 20 years later, I was at that camp. Now, fast forward to where I am now at the JCC, which I'm now 9 years in. I now knew the understanding of camp, and I brought my expertise from the PCDC to David Posnack JCC camp, and here I am now. That was a lot. I know.
I just, for full transparency, the JCC Camp Kadima is in my community, so I really know firsthand how much it's loved. The quality, the parents love it. It's really a value to the community as a whole, the entire program. So it is so loved. Tell me about what makes your program at Camp Kadima so special.
It is an alternative to the sleepaway because most kids want to go away, but some kids are not ready to embark on an 8-week journey by themselves in the woods or whatever. Maybe still want to be close to home. So it is a day camp. We do a lot of field trips. So we give you that, that get off campus feel. But we also have a lot of programs on campus, the regular that everybody has, the football, the soccer, the arts and crafts, all that stuff. But that's a good alternative other than going away for the summer.
Because I do know you run a program during the day that's very similar to like a traditional sleepaway with the programs and the activities and even like a color war at the end to give those. Because some kids just aren't sleepaway camp kids, even if they're old enough that it's just not for everybody. And there's just something about a Monday through Friday and sleeping in your own bed, which appeals to a lot of people. So talk to me, what's a day like at Camp Kadima?
Well, we try to model our day camp like a sleepaway camp. Firstly, we do the first thing that they arrive, and we do what traditionally we know as at a sleepaway camp as flagpole. We all come to one room and we play games. We have challenges like my co-director, Mike Channon. He has one half of the room. I have the other half of the room. And we have about close to 800 kids. Also, and in addition to our special needs program that we call Gibbereem. So we integrate those kids with our regular camp. So it's not two camps, even though they do need some special attention, but we make sure everyone gets the same focus.
I'll say the Gibarim program is one of the things that I know that you're so well known for. The parents love it, the kids love it. The services that you're able to provide that population are just really amazing. So I'm sure we could spend a whole hour talking about the that amazing program and the people that like head that on. But so 800 campers at a time, like that is a massive, massive undertaking. Like whether, yeah, you have to send them home. That's a lot to have in one place during the day. So I saw like, so during, it's like Team Dale and Team Mike. Are the kids like on these teams throughout the whole summer, or does it like change during the day?
Well, so when I brought my skills from PCDC to Camp Kadima, they already had something established as flagpole, but it was just Mike doing it by himself.
Right.
They were just buying time before they get to their first activity. And I said, why just sit here, just doing it? Let's make it more compelling, make him want to come to flagpole, make him like, and now it's become a thing that if they miss flagpole because if they leave early for their field trip, they want to know which side got the point. And so this is a thing that involves the counselors and the campers, not just the campers. So one day may be a challenge because a challenge for the counselors. The next day may be a challenge for the campers. So they want to know what side. And in the middle of the week, we have a karaoke Wednesday. This is where everybody gets to sing. Yeah, so we put the words up on the board and we sing 2 or 3 songs and everybody's involved. So it's not only about the competitions, about the feeling that everybody gets to start their day. And so my thought was, hey, make it fun, make it interactive. We have a big mailbox that we have a question of the day. The first thing they see when they walk in is question of the day on the big board. And it would say, what is your favorite cereal? So they scurry up to the front, there's paper and pencil, they write it down, they put it in the mailbox. And then within the segment of our flagpole, we call it mail time. So now we open the mailbox, empty out all these answers, and it is amazing the satisfaction they get from us reading their piece. Like, hey, Courtney from 2 da 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 says she loves corn pops. And like, oh, you read my mail. And that is worth gold. And it goes on every summer and it never changes.
Yeah, a flagpole at my camp, we do a flagpole in the morning and at the end of the day where we come together, and it really is a nice way to start your day, and it's a great way, to end your day as you go off to your evening activities. So you come in, you do flagpole, and then what is the day? Are they in groups? Are they separated by sex, age? How does it work?
Well, they're separated by age group. Like, we have the kindergarten, then we have first grade, and we have 2, 3. We keep those together. 4, 5 keep those together, and then the older kids, they are together. So, and then they decided what field trip they're going on today. Like, hey, today we're going down to the sea aquarium. We can mention that again. I guess that's closed. We're going. We're going to woodsy archery, something like that. So, and then that also alleviates pressure on the campus. So we don't, they give them something to do roam, and then they come back to campus and they take turns who leaves campus, who stays. But you know what? Their rides are very comfortable. They have these air-conditioned buses. It's not the school yellow buses. They're going in like first class. They're charging their iPhones and their iPads while on the trip. So I don't feel sorry for them at all.
Do you have during the day like a tech policy, or are the kids allowed to have their phones? Do you have anything on that?
With the inception of TikTok and all that stuff, we have to make sure, hey, you have your private time within your cabins, within your rooms that you're allotted. But while you're at activities, those phones don't come out.
Right. Do you call them cabins, like with your group, your cabin?
We call them groups, but I'm used to saying cabins, but we call them groups, and each room throughout the JCC, they have They're allowed where to put their bags and they go to change for pool. And we have this amazing Olympic sized looking pool. So everybody wants to go to the pool and with, the pool toys and inflatables and all that good stuff.
How many of your staff do you feel are former campers that are coming back from college or were members of the JCC? What do you think?
I would say 85% of our staff came through the program. So they worked because it's a sense of pride of coming through the program and now becoming counselors. Right. And I think that's one good thing about it because it keeps the tradition. It keeps the knowledge of what camp is and what we expect from the counselors. So you don't have to explain, hey, don't be like this because that's not what we expect. They know growing up as kids, their feeling and how they felt. And that kind of gives us a sense of pride that the kids turning to our counselors because they want to be there because they felt that love, they felt that connection to the camp.
Yeah, there's no better employees, there's no better workers than the kids, ex-campers, because they understand the spirit, they know how it works, and they know how to get the job done. So those are some of our hardest working employees for sure. So what are some of your favorite traditions at Camp Kadima? So even though it's a day camp, some of the tried and true every year.
I think that the best part that I brought to this camp is the variety. When you think of Camp Kadima, the JCC camp, you don't think of myself as a director, but I think being there opens up a diversity and a warmth of trying something new, accepting other people. And I think that is my biggest attribute to this camp. On the flip side, the entertainment value, we do a lot of different activities. Like we do a counselor, what's the word I'm looking for? Mass singer. So each year we have very talented counselors and we do the mass singer, copywritten Fox, I love you. But we get the costumes and the kids love that because they don't see that side of their counselor and they don't know that their counselor are singers or dancers or whatever. And once they demask or unmask themselves, they're like, oh my God, my counselor is really a different person. So, and of course you get judged by your talent, but that's a great activity that we do each year.
Amazing. Do you do birthdays? How do you celebrate birthdays at camp?
All right. Birthdays are done on flagpole and we get ribbons. And even if it's always a bone of contention because kids who don't have birthdays in the summer try to come up at the end of the summer and say, hey, my birthday's in October. Can I get a ribbon on the last day of camp? But we do recognize all the birthdays during the summer and being a fellow birthday during the summer, I never felt connected to my friends. My friends always went away on my birthday. So I think this is one way to help the kids who have summer birthdays feel a little bit special. Because if you have your birthday during the year, most of the time, all your friends are there. So you're getting celebrated. But we celebrate every morning. We have a list. We call them up to the stage. You get their ribbon. We sing. We try to change the songs each year. First, we had the Beatles, I Heard It's Your Birthday. And then we had all
right, so what's going to be the song for 2024, Dale? And now I want you to premiere it, announce it right now.
I'll be lying to you if I would lie to you if I told you I'm prepared for that. Okay. We haven't discussed that. We have a round table panel. Everybody brings a song and then we decide. So it's not just myself deciding that.
All right. So what was it for 23? We'll do a little flashback. Way back Wednesday.
I think we had the Bruno Mars. It's your birthday. No, it's not. That was kind of like funky.
Okay. All right. I dig that. I dig that. So listen, every camp has their own like camp language. So like words that only someone who goes to that camp would know. So could you tell me a sentence that only a Camp Kadima would know?
Okay.
Or if you have to go back, we could do a PCDC because that's if you know, right?
Right. I guess everybody has canteen. But at PCDC, the major thing was chipwiches. Like if you run into like a past counselor or camper, they're like, Chipwich Day was like the day. Like we only get it once a week, and sometimes we don't get it once a week, and they surprise us, and we get it sometimes. But to get a Chipwich, even if you didn't care, if you were lactose intolerant, you
You
didn't like
ate it.
chocolate, you just wanted Chipwich Day was the day. And also we had chicken patty days. I guess I'm doing a food thing here. I guess a food on the
Well, that's
brain.
always the next question. What are
Yeah,
some of the meals that camp that the kids are like, yay, it's this day? Like, what are
chicken
the
patty
bang
day.
chicken
Yeah,
patty day?
and
Okay.
we used to come up with songs and that's one thing that I've also brought to Camp Kadima is that when we do the lunch, we always announce the lunch of the day. We come up with like a song to go with the meal, like
All right. So all right. So okay. So today's meal is chicken patties. What's the song?
we would change it to chicken fingers with some sauce. You can eat them all by yourself. Let me see, eat them. Hey,
Oh my God, I love that. But for it's chip witches at my camp, it's like it's churros when we have like when they
okay.
announce at the end of dinner and we're all waiting for the dessert and they go, it's
Like,
churros, and
like
everyone's
they've
like,
never had it before. Like they've never like this is the first time ever in life. But you know what? At that particular moment, at that day, that is the biggest thing ever in life.
oh, I lose control, when you sit there at dinner and you're waiting for the dessert, and then you're banging on the table because it's churros or ice
It's
cream, or
true.
it's like it's the little things in the day that
Right.
that bring you the sunshine. So, all right, tell me, give me your funniest camp story that's appropriate.
Funniest camp story. Wow. It is the good thing about camp, there's always like, you get one little joke and you use it all 8 weeks and you just keep on reoccurring. I think the biggest part of our biggest joke or camp stories, what happens at flagpole. Like whether or not, because we have to get point system. Like Mike has one side, I have one side of the room, and each day we get 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. And that person who messes it up for their team never gets to live it down because throughout the whole day, 400 kids are reminding you that, hey, at musical chairs, you missed a chair, or at Thinking Thursday, you forgot the simple, like how many stars or stripes are on the flag for 4th of July, like that little things like that. And kids are like, I knew the answer. Why didn't you know the answer? So those things just carry on for the rest. So you can be either camp famous or camp infamous. So that's the way you look at it. Yes.
Oh, and then you're throwing in some vocabulary too. You're giving them some like school
Right.
skills.
Exactly.
What is Thinking Thursday?
So every Thursday we do a quiz show. So we bring up counselors on either side. I
You
got
have buzzers,
questions.
like real
Yeah,
buzzers.
a buzzer, right? So
That'll
if
be
it's close to 4th of July, it's going to be a 4th of July theme. If we have a dress up day that week, it's pertaining to the dress up day, and we normally start by saying what's your name and what college you go to. And if they get it wrong, we're like, well, your parents are wasting their money.
good.
So that's how we look at it. So we kind of make it fun but informational at the same time. So that's a good time. And sometimes the simplest questions are the ones that they get wrong.
Oh, yeah, they freeze. They freeze.
Yes,
I
pretty
love a
much.
good, we do a trivia bowl as a part of our Color War Olympics. So there's nothing
Right.
like they're shaking kids that are frozen. So tell me about your Color War. You do a Color War, but what do you guys call it?
We call it color war.
Oh, you call it Color War? Okay.
So
Tell me
we
about it.
split we split the camp, of course, down, red and blue.
Is
And
it
it's
always red and blue?
they tried to stick to red and blue. A couple of years we
Okay.
tried to change the colors, but the kids are like, yeah, we like red and blue because
Right, right.
it's easier for the parents to go out and get the colors.
The stuff.
Like easy stuff, it's easier. So we try to stick to red. I like a little change because I think the colors define what year that was and
Right.
it links, but I digress. But it is, of course, the hardest part when you split the groups or the cabins and you have to share that space, even though half is red, half is blue, We try to say, hey, no color war during the groups, but
Right.
it's hard to tell kids that for that 30 minutes, you're all one. No, the whole week, it's half and half. Yeah.
And it's a whole week.
Yeah, it's a whole week.
What's this? Do you do like a sing competition or a music? I saw that on your website. Tell me,
We do. Are you doing color war
or maybe
just
during
regular?
the summer, yeah.
Yes, that is a musical competition that we have with all groups.
Okay.
So the counselors have to come up with the music and the words, teach it to the campers, and in week 3 is when you're performing in front of all of camp.
Yeah.
And before COVID, we used to have the parents come in and watch, but now we've tightened up on the rules a little bit. So we just do it via Zoom, and then the parents can watch them work. And so it's kind of easier actually. So they don't have to leave work to come. And it's always a theme. So let's say this year's theme is 60s. So they find a song from the 60s, put their song in, change the words, costuming, and they do it all.
I love that. And it's a competition then?
Yeah, we call it Zimria.
Zimria. That's
Yeah.
what I knew there was like a name, Zimria.
Yes.
So camp, it's 7 weeks, right? Your day camp?
8 weeks. 8 weeks.
8 weeks. 8 weeks. So could a camper go for half the time, or is it 8?
Yes.
Is it all or nothing?
Well, the thing is that a lot of parents like to plan vacation time. And sometimes they come for the first half, but they want to come for the second half because they want to be a part of color war. Color war is always at the latter part of the summer. So no, they do their 4 weeks, maybe take a week off with their family and come back just in time for color war. Even though we try to surprise them with breakouts, they still know it's going to be either the 6th or the 7th week of summer.
Right. These kids are just so darn smart, Dale. They figure everything out.
Or the parents just circle it on the calendar.
It's going to be around this time, right?
Exactly.
What are you most looking forward to summer 2024?
The challenging part about summer for me is coming up with a new way to break out color war without them knowing, because they know it's always around a certain time of year or time of the summer. How can we come up with a new creative way of breaking color war and surprising 800 to 900 kids? Because it's not, we have a very expansive space, but you can't hide too many things too much. So one year we had helicopters and we dropped color war colors down. We've had a marching band break out color war. We've had every year we have a theme. So last year it was Top Gun. So we went to a local airstrip and we did a whole video and announcing the captains of color war. And so it helps my juices flowing. Like, what are we going to do this year that's different, that makes the kids, because it's color war, but it's how you break it out that sets the tone for the week.
I mean, listen, my camp, we call it Olympics. The amount of secrecy that goes into like, if you knew, they would have to kill you. Okay, like they'll cut your tongue out. Like it is really, it's really. But let me tell you what they're able to do, and I'm sure what you are able to do. Really is always just blows your mind. But I understand that level of importance of that, because it's whether you're a day camp or a sleepaway camp, when you have 8 weeks, it's that last 2 weeks that's really sets their memory of what the entire summer was. So if you can make that incredible breakout and incredible Olympics, then they're piecing out on that last week of camp on a high note, even higher if they've won.
Right.
But, and then you're done, and they're counting down the 10 months.
And that leads me to, that's the toughest part, is trying to bring the camp back together after color war, because someone's going to lose and someone's going to win. And sometimes it's within the same household that one child is on red, one child is in blue, and you have to bring that back together. But it's also a great lesson that you're not going to always win, but it's how you deal with it. Right. Also, I'm a soccer coach. I don't win all my games, But then how do I tell my players that you have to pick yourself up and move on? Because sometimes you're winning, but of course, sometimes you lose.
Right. I think at our camp too, by the end of Olympics, that everybody's just so tired that it's it's like,
No voice.
yay!
Bouncers are crying, kids are
Yes.
crying. It's not fair. That's our point. That's not their point.
Right. Right.
You know, one of the newest things that I kind of stole because I saw it. I don't know where I saw it from, but I brought it to camp. We have this competition in color where we give each team cardboard boxes and duct tape, and they have to make a seaworthy boat that fits two, and they have to race across the pool.
I love
And
it.
it was a big hit because not only they have to figure out how to make it seaworthy and not sink after 2 seconds of being in it, but the whole camp comes out and watches it at the pool surround. So here they are trying to row, and it's amazing.
And that was a new Color War event this past year.
Yes. Yes.
So did it succeed? Will it be repeating itself in
Oh yeah.
2024?
Yes. Everybody
Okay.
wants in now because it's not about how tough you are. It's about using your brain. So it's not only about physicality. It's about, hey, maybe somebody in the group is not a sports person, but they know about how to put things together, and
Thinking
they can
and floating.
right, and they can be a part of the team because it's not only about the sports aspect, because most of it is sports, but this is about being smart about putting things together and making sure how do we get it across the water? Does it have to be this heavy, this light? Does it make sure there's no holes in it? Think a little bit cerebral as opposed to physical.
I think we might see that event maybe pop up at my camp this summer. I'm gonna have to
It's
bring that
amazing.
up
It's so much
during
fun. It's so much fun.
That's incredible. So where can if you're in South Florida and need a day camp for your kids, or do you still have room left? Are you taking applications for campers?
We'll always have room left. This
Okay.
we're just like, we always make room. So come on down.
I love that. So where can someone go to learn more about Camp Kadima?
On Instagram is at Camp Kadima on Instagram. And or the David Posnack JCC. We have a link there for camp. But that's basically where you can find it.
All right, cool. Well, we will definitely post that information in our show notes. And I will tell you guys, I live in South Florida. The Camp Kadima at the JCC is an incredible program, very well respected. Lots of personal friends have gone, and I can't say enough of the program, Dale, and what you've brought to continue to bring. And so thank you so much. It's nice to have that community.
And my last note is that don't be fooled by the title of JCC. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to be Jewish. It's a camp. And that's how I look at it. It's just camp. It's kids. All kids are the same. They have the same common denominator. They want to have fun in the summer. And that's basically what it is.
I love that. All right, Dale. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Camp friends are the best friends. So we'll have to have you back on. This was super fun. Guys, if you want to learn more about Camp Kadima, if you're here in South Florida, we'll definitely post the link. And if you love camp and you want to hear more about my camp, you can find this podcast where you find your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. And I'll see you back here in the Girls HC. I'll save a s'more for you.
Take a moment to shine.